Jokester here, bringing you another episode of Skyfactory3. We are up to episode 15, and we've been getting into a little bit of Aotania. Well, first things first though, how do I sound? Do I sound any better, worse? Let me know how I sound, guys. I ordered an arm and some vibration dampener and a pop filter, and I set back up the blue microphone. I haven't been using it in the past just because it's always been picking up keyboard sounds way too much. So, like when I'm right, if I start typing, it just seems to be clackety, and it's no different now. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. All right. Let us, however, discuss. We are now on the 306 version, the beta version. Yes, it is another beta version, guys. So that's why we still have the reborn storage there. But this fixes a lot of the issues. So the MBT data in this chunk seems to have been fixed. We now have retrieval nodes showing up again. All the conduits are properly showing. The glass that I had here for our obsidian farm is now was showing up, and I was able to remove it. So all good, all good. And I moved the travel anchor over here, as you can see, and now I can pop back and forth wherever I want. Oh, it's beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, guys, so we talked about automating this, and this well with Pam's Harvest Craft is not automatable. So what I have done is I've made a sink, and I have a mechanical user, and we're going to automate with that. Okay, so let me remove these here. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put down our sink. So we put down our sink, and then we'll need to put down our mechanical user, which get right there, all right, facing upward. And then we make it daytime. Wait for it. For it. Oh, there we go. It's working. Okay, the other thing is I could use a conduit here and have another user and right click with buckets and stuff, but here's another really clever way of doing this. If we place down the Ender IO fluid tank, what we can do then is we can tell it to suck from the sink, and it fills this up with water. Very cool. Now, if we were to, let's make a little room here, so we can access this for now. If we were to put a bucket in here, then what we want is we want to activate block with item, right click, upper left is fine, or random, it doesn't really matter. It's smart enough to know there's only one thing in here. And so what it's going to do is if this were full, it's going to right click underneath here, that's the key, and it will fill this up. If it's empty, then what we want it to do is we want to get pulled out and fill up from here. And that can be done by setting this to be a pull. See how that pulls in? But we also wanted to push it back. Okay, so if we do a push-pull here, it ends up over here, and it doesn't go back, but we can fix that. All we have to do is just put another bucket in here, okay? And so now we have one queued up and one inside of here, all full, waiting. So if I were to simulate us making a flour recipe, and I were to put this back, it will automatically fill up, suck the bucket back, fill it, swap the two, and fill it back up. There we go. We are fully automated. All right. And that's it. That's all I have to do. It's very, very simple. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I want to make an external storage. Okay. I just so happen to have one right here, and we're going to need some of the cables. All right. Let's grab those. And oops. And I want to connect these two right here. And so I'm going to put the external storage here. I'm going to put this right here. And now if I were to look up, is it petal? Is it, yeah, right here. They are the petal, P-E-T. There we go. So yeah, there's your petals right there. Everything that's in here. And livingrock. So can we see livingrock? Sure enough, there's all that stuff. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. We're well on our way. Look at that. Now we have our Aotania tied into our main refined storage system for just a little bit of cost of RF. Remember, there's the wireless underneath here. Okay, the next thing is let's automate this pure daisy, and that is done with constructors and destructors. And in fact, I should be able to do structor. There we go. I get both of them. So the destructors and constructors are what we're going to use, and we're going to need 8 of these. So let's grab 8 of those, and then we want 8 of these as well. Okay. Let us, so the constructors are the ones that are going to be placing. And so what I want to do is, let's just say we're going to do something like this, okay? Now this is actually going to convert these on the fly, so we kind of need to hurry. So let's put down our constructors here, all right? And then inside of each one of these, I'm going to do this. I want it to place stone for each and every one of these, roughly half of them. All right, I don't have a need to crank through this and do, you know, all stone in one, all in the other, but the other half then is we're going to need wood. And so, oh, not that. I have to do wood 2, 3, and 4. And so we will then put down constructors on here. Okay, so there we go. And so for these 4, we want to do the exact same thing. There we go. And last one. All right. So we now have all the constructors, and when these are gone, they should place them once we hook it up to the network. So let's give that a test. Let's just make sure that's working. So, well, we'll get rid of these first. Okay. And we'll wait for these guys to convert. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire this up. And we'll probably run this underneath, but for right now, we're just going to run it right along here. Still waiting for this to convert. Still waiting. Anytime. I swear they've made this slower. I swear they have. Who knows? Who knows? All right, and then the last one. Good, good. All right. Wow, that is so fast. Such a fast. Oh my goodness. Goodness, goodness, goodness. I need to fix that. Oh, my flower. My flower. Yes, and then this one. That's what I'm missing. I was confusing me there. Okay, so it's right here in the middle, so we know exactly which one it is. Okay, let's connect this. And there we go. How cool is that? Now that will automatically place them. The next thing we need to do is we need to automatically remove. Now we can do it along the sides. That would be one cool way to do it. But I think I want it to be underneath. I want it to be underneath. So let's, for right now, let's get rid of this. And we are now going to, that's why I made this 3 deep, right? If we were to look here, well, this one's 2 deep, right? But that's why I made a lot of these others 3 deep, is so we can go down several levels and be able to access underneath. So let's go ahead and get underneath all of these. All right, just like this. And we can leave the center one, of course, yeah, that should be, there we go. And I even left the center one, hey, with a super fast Matic. Okay, so now we have to get underneath there and place these. That's obviously going to mean we need to fly. And I have a painted glowstone here. In case you didn't notice, I have painted glowstone that I have placed all here, so we don't have to use any of the torches. So let's go underneath here first. Okay, and now we should be able to get most of these. And we need to, of course, look up while we're doing this. And so when these are connected, these don't need to have you can have a white list and a black list. If I don't have anything in there right now, it will destroy anything. As soon as we hook it up, it will destroy whatever's here. And that's a problem. We don't want that to happen. So I'm going to put both of these in here, just in case, okay? So just in case I decide to mix it up, I say you can only destroy the converted versions. So that's it. That's all we have to do. So let me get the rest of these and I'll bring you right back. We are all done. Now all we should have to do is, actually, let's check our light levels here with F7. Yeah, we're going to need one over here. So let's make sure we place down one of this painted glowstone, and I don't know, let's put one right there. And yeah, we're going to need another one over there. I didn't realize that was done. Okay, so let's put this back. And what I'd like to do is, remember I always said I'm going to go underneath, but for right now, all I have to do is go up and down. All right, so I should be able to reach it from right here. And I take a cable and I put that down there. Yes, no, right there. All right, see how it breaks all those? I put that up there and it replaces them. And there you go. You're fully automated. Pretty cool, huh? I wonder why this is, I swear I had, maybe it's underneath one of these guys that is the glowstone. I don't see glowstone there. That's really odd. I had all this sorted. So, I don't know. Do I have any in my system? Glow? How about painted? No, that is so odd. That is so odd. I will paint 2 just in case. And since we have grass on us, we will now be able to do that. So let me get that done. I'll be all right. So the next thing we need to do is this guy, as it runs, will start filling up and using up all our wood and all our stone. And, you know, it's going over here. I set the priority. That's one thing I hadn't shown, is I set the priority up higher, right, than the default disk or my storage crate over there, my colossal storage. And so which is set at 0. So I set it higher, so it will be storing all this stuff here. But we don't want you know, hundreds and thousands of these things. So let's slow this roll, slow the roll. And so the first thing we need is one of these relays. The relay will cut things in and out, and we want it to cut the power to the system. So if I were to put that right here, this will control both up and down, vice versa. It will cut both up and down, and it can say only work without, only ignore redstone signal, or only work with. And that's what we want. So now there will be no breaking nor placing. So that is on hold. But we don't want it to just, I mean, I could have a lever there and I can control it manually, but let's automate it. So there is another device here called the detector. The detector's pretty cool. Let's see what we have of this. All but the comparator. So right there, and let's do that. Let's create a couple of these, and then that. There we go. So we want one of these guys here. And so what that will do is we place that right there. Now we'll have to connect it up, okay? So that's the one thing, is don't forget that. It's not powered up right now. Now it is, okay? So we have it in here, and we can say, let's grab one of these here. We'll say when you reach, for right now we're at 67. So let's say when you reach, if you have reached 60, okay, then and you are above or below. So we are under 60. If you are under 60, then you get a redstone. All right, you notice how that when I was cycling through it, it automatically broke that. So since we are at 70, that is not true. We are not under, and therefore it will not show. So all I have to do is change this to, let's say, 71. Right there, it turns on, and it will now work until that gets to 71, which is one more cycle. So I think if I always keep 100 in there, that should be way more than enough. And so that's going to be my threshold, and that will always keep. As soon as I drop below that, it will now start adding more in there. And so that's really cool. Really cool that we have this automated and we don't ever have to worry about living rock, living stone ever again. The next thing we want to do is we want to make some mana pools. But let's take a look at the mana pools. We've been getting mana pearls and mana steel all from, and look, it's a mana in a bottle, all from loot bags. But we need to make our own mana. So let's make some mana right now. So mana pool, and let's make a few of these, right? So I'm going to start out with 4 right off the bat. Since we have enough living rock, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to also get a mana distributor. All right, so that requires mana steel. We already have all this, so it makes it nice and easy to do this right off the bat. Thank you, loot bags. And then we're going to need one of these mana pearls, and we're gonna use those in a bit. But the other thing I want to do is I need to make a mana. Yeah, these guys are a spreader. That's the word I'm looking for. So we want the mana spreader, and it's going to require any one of these white petals and livingwood. We already have all that in our system. That's why I hooked it up to the system, so I can just craft any one of these I want. So we are awesome. That is wonderful. Now, it doesn't really matter where I do this, because not much of this is going to be connected to any of the existing systems that we have. So I'm going to just set this down right here, and I'm going to put this in a kind of a star pattern or a triangle pattern, or no, I mean a diamond pattern, and we're going to put that right in the middle. And what that's going to do is any mana that hits this is going to distribute equally into all 4 of these, which is great. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, maybe I'll do it right here, and we'll need some blocks. Let me grab some blocks here. And how about wood's fine? Wood is perfectly fine. It breaks super quick. All right, so I'm going to go up, I I think 3 here. And then I'm going to put the mana spreader on top of that. All right, so let's get rid of those. And then the next thing I need is flowers. And so we've gotten rid of the ability to do all passive flowers. So let's take a look at what kind of flowers we have. Oh, you know what? We need a Lexica Botanica, which is actually much better than looking in JEI. So do we have one of those? I think we do. We do. And if you don't have one, let's look at the recipe. It's so simple. It is just any old sapling and a book. All right, but we happen to have one. So let's bring that up and see here. Good. We're all good. Okay, so now that we've done the obligatory, this is primarily what I use as the index all the time, and I just start typing. I look up what I want, only because I know the mana, however, or the mod. However, if you don't, then you can go through here and look at each one of these. It's a great read, good stuff. This is one of the best manuals in Minecraft. So if we want to look at generating flora, we have these flowers that have now been changed ever since Vasky took over the mod. So we want to start with endoflames. If we look at the recipe for endoflames, it is brown, 2 browns, a red, and a light gray. So let's get some here. So we need 2 browns, right? A red and a light gray. Is that light gray? It looks to be light gray. All right, right? And then we're going to need what do they call it? Seeds right there. So let's clear up some room on our hotbar here. And we're going to need to kind of set this up as an assembly line. And so we'll throw those in, and then we'll need, well, we're actually going to need a whole bunch of these because we want, I don't know, maybe 18's too much. Let's try 9 of them. Okay, and then, so that means we're going to need 18 of these guys. So we can just, since they're on my hotbar, I can just see, and we're going to need 9 of these, and we're going to need 9 of these. Okay, and then, since we're auto-filling up, all I have to do is 1, 2, 1, 1, and then boom. And what that's going to do is if I move this here, then I can shift right, is it right-click? There we go. And throw. Oh, that so didn't work. It sort of went in. Let's try it. Let's continue this and try it one more time. And put that in. Right click with an empty hand. There we go. That time it worked. And then I just toss that in. Right click, toss. Right click, and toss. See how nice that is? It is really nice when you set it up with the automated water. It makes it so quick. In the past, I have dreaded making all of these flowers. Because it's been so arduous, you gotta click with the bucket and so on, and we're all good. We all good here. Now, if I place this mana spreader ahead of time, then any of the flowers that I place below it are going to be bound to it. Okay, so let's set these up. Oh, that's glowstone. Yeah, I can't place it on glowstone. That's all good. So there is kind of a radius that they go out from there, but we're guessing at this point. Why? Because we don't have a critical component, and that is the Wand of the Forest. So let's go to our Wand of the Forest, and all it is these livingwood twigs. How do we make those? Just with livingwood. So we're going to need 3 of these. Okay, we'll throw those. Well, actually, we'll do this manually. And so what we want is petals, so we can pick what colors we want. And there we go. So I, of course, like blue, one of my favorite colors, and red. So that's kind of the one I typically will always go with. Now, when we have this wand, now we can look here and see the green checkbox? That means they are all good, right? They're all bound to a mana spreader, that one right above it. So now the other thing is we need to shift right click to there, shift right click there, and now we can see that it's going to be dumping its mana there. And if we go over here, we grab some coal, well, it's right here in front of us, right? Or I can grab coal blocks, right, which might be a little bit better. And so what I can do is I can dump this over here. That will suck it up. If I turn off my magnet right here. There we go. And go ahead and suck that up, guys. There we go. And now, if we get this, we can see, yes, there we go. Right there. There's the burst. There we go. So we have 9 of these. 8. And that should now be sucked up by all of them, and that's generating our mana, which is very cool. Now what we would normally do is we would generate mana, and we would start to create all the different mana pearls, primarily, and mana steel ingots, so that we could make a Let's see if it's up here. It does not look to be up here, so that we can make an altar. That's the next step. The altar is just needs some of this, but we already have either a mana diamond or a mana pearl. We're going to have to create some, so I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But for right now, we already have these, and so that's one step away. Now we're going to need this fairly close to the mana pool. So how about I want it slightly off the angle, and you'll see why in a second. Maybe I'll do it right here. And then I need more spreaders. So let's make some more spreaders. And we'll need 2 of these. 1, 2. All right, and I like to juice these up as fast as I possibly can. And we will bind those to here. Bind those to here. Oh, good. So that will be pulling from this pool and this pool, and this one will be pulling from this pool and this pool. And so that's all good. And we'll, just in case, we will throw that down, see if anyone sucks it up, and it shouldn't. Oh, it did. Good. The other one must be done. And so we're going to have to set up some automation here. There's several different ways. See how that one's staying there? None of them need it. So that very first one was finished dumping its mana. And so that's all good. So now we have the ability to make stuff in our runic altar, which is really neat. Some time has passed now, and I have been tossing lots of coal on here. I made some more flowers, and we now have a little more than half of a mana pool in there. And so, one other trick I want to show you in case you start to run low on some of these. What you can do is you can plant the flower, bone meal it, and then take your mana shears. I made these mana shears. I'll show you in a second how to make them. And you harvest it. You now get 4 of those. And if I were to place 4 of these and bone meal those, now I all of a sudden have 4 tall flowers. You have to harvest them with shears, of course. And now I turn those with that one piece into 16 with just a little bit of effort. And there we go. Now I have a whole bunch of those. Okay, so here's your recipe for mana shears. Now, I'm going to throw those in there for right now since I'm only going to ever use those here. Now what we need to do is, you saw we have mana steel and mana pearls. So let's go ahead and grab some more things. So we're going to grab a stack of iron. You know what? I don't want to use up all my mana. I'm just going to make a few extra right now. We already have mana pearls. And what the only other thing I need is either redstone or gunpowder. You know what? Gunpowder is just the worst nasty stuff in the world. So let's do that. And you know what? I'm going to do all 32 of those. So what I do is I just toss it in here like this, right? And it will use up some of the mana. Now it's not too bad, right? So it's barely even noticeable when you're at this level. So I can just dump the whole thing in there and it will automatically fill up. But I just kind of want to rotate around and use some of these. You know, don't want to use up all the stuff in one pool. And I now have mana steel ingots and mana powder. And because the first thing we're going to make is a sojourner's sash. Sojourners. There we go. Sojourner's sash is the rune of air, which is these 2 that we just made. A carpet, a feather, and string. So let's get each of those. Carpet and feather and string. Cool. And then we've got these 2 already. And then the other thing we needed was sojourners. Was this rune of earth, which we need granite, or sorry, any stone, a block of coal, and mushroom. I have coal on me, so now we just need mushrooms, which we have been getting all over our water over there, our witch water. And we need stone. Doesn't really matter which stone. And it's odd that I guess granite shows up. Yeah. So let's just use a piece of granite. I kind of like that. And lastly was, I always get that wrong. Always type that wrong. Was everything. All right, that's it. So let's go do some fun stuff here. So what we need to do is we need to put one of those on there. You can either toss or you can right click, either way. And so we'll do the, we're going to need, there we go. And then we're going to need this plus this plus this, right? So we right click, and right click. And so that's going to start working. So we're going to need 2 of these. And so notice that now that I've taken 2 of them, it is going to replace those, which is cool. We'll wait for it to get all the way up. Yes, good. We put that on top. We hit it with one of the force, and we now have 2 runes of the earth. So let's do the same thing for the next stuff that we need. Let's make some room here. There, and we're gonna need both of these. I'll just one of those and one of those. Then we have the 3 of these. That will work its way. That's why I wanted to use 2 of these. It goes even faster. And these 3 will get sucked, but this will be a little bit off kilter of the other ones. I'm okay with that. Doesn't really matter. And we can go ahead and throw that on there ahead of time. Wait for that. And now we've got the Rune of Summer, right? Rune of Air, that's what it was. And so let's see. There's our Sojourner Sash. Now, in order to use this, right, it's going to need a tablet, a mana tablet. Okay, and so we're going to need to make one of these mana tablets, and it's either a mana pearl or a mana diamond. We don't have any of this made yet, but we have plenty of these. So let's make one of these mana tablets. And so what we do is, remember that back one that wasn't getting used for any of our altar stuff? So we need to switch this from the default of dump mana tablet into there. We do that. We dump that in. We'll let that fill up. Let's go fill this guy up. Okay, that I think should be enough. A couple more. Looks to be good. All right. Okay, are you filled up? That's good for right now. And now, if I were to, how much did we get filled? Where is it? There it is. Almost all the way. I just don't want to use up every last bit of it. If I were to put that in here, now when I walk, I'm much faster. Plus, it gives me step assist. But I already had step assist from the armor. But that's why I usually do this early on. Is this one of the best things early on to have? So really, really like it. Plus, it also speeds up your flying. Oh yeah, that's super fast. I love it. I love it. Now there is an updated version of the sashes. Right, so there's the updated, which is the Globetrotter sash, and if you look, it requires Elementium ingots as well as these Gaia spirits. Now the Elementium ingots aren't that big of a deal. You just throw some of the Mana Steel into the Elven portal, and that's all good, but these Gaia spirits, we've got to beat the Gaia Guard. There is a Planistrider sash, and that is one of those where if you're running long distances, the longer you run, the faster you go. So we don't have too much. We're sprinting over here, so that's it doesn't help that much, right? It kind of would help flying, so it might be worth it, but you can only have one belt on at one time, so it'd be nice to have both of them. Best of both worlds. Anyway, guys, I have to wrap up here. We are reached the wrapping up point. Whew, so fast. I love it. Oh my goodness. And if you're watching me on like 1.25 or 1.5x, or God forbid you're watching me on 2x, man, you can't even keep up. It's like too fast. All right, guys, we have to say goodbye. Googly eye and all. All right. Well, guys, I will hold the Rune of Air in my hand, and I will bid you adieu. But before I go, let me just say we've reached 400 subscribers, guys, and I am just tickled pink. I've only been streaming for a couple of months, and you guys have been incredible. Like, I swear. I know everybody says this, but I swear you guys have been the best. I mean, almost every single episode we have just insightful, in-depth conversations in comments, and the ones that aren't insightful, in-depth, they're fun and exciting. So just wonderful, wonderful. So guys, I hope you're enjoying this series. I hope you are having as much fun and learning a lot as well, just like I am. And if you liked it, leave a like. If you're new to the series, I'd appreciate a subscribe. I'm growing my channel and building up all the way to the top. So way up top. All right, guys, gotta go. All right, talk to you later. Talk to you in the next one. See you soon. All right, bye.